All right, good morning, good day, good afternoon, guys, and depending on where you are. So this will be the seventh edition of our Forex market preview. So we look at the Forex market before we start our week, right? So first thing first, where we start, as always, we have to look at economic calendar. And the first thing that we see in this case, let's look at Sunday today, JP, okay, JPY governor speaks here. And tomorrow we do have the G20 minutes and ECB president's and monetary. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Okay, on Tuesday here we have monetary policy, GBP, monetary policy, so which means I'm expecting some high impact news, which means during the silver bullish time, I'll have to be careful when trading GBP here. And Canadian dollar, we have CPI, which will be high impact news as well. This will be 8:30. And then again, day 2 for the G20 minutes, which means this will be a whole day. So this tends to have some high impact news. Sometimes you can see some volatility with this G20 meetings. And the Chinesian one day, okay, I don't care about this. And then on Wednesday, we have GBP CPI. Okay, of which this will be a mover as well. And we do have a financial stability review, ECB President Lagarde speaks, and then this will be high impact news. And then the crude oil inventories will be keen. JPY governor speaks. I don't really, this is tentative. I don't really trade the JPY at all, so I'll not put out about this. On Thursday, we have Ivory governor block speaks, and then we have the dollar unemployment claims. And again, the Philly Fed manufacturing index, that will be high impact news. Normally, in this case, it's indicated as orange, but it tends to be high impact news. Then on Friday will be the busiest day of them all. We have retail sales, GBP retail sales, European flash PMI. For European countries, I'm just gonna mark this as euro from 315 up until what? Up until 4 a.m. We'll be having high impact news concerning the euro. We also have GBP as well from 480. Flash manufacturing PMI and flash service PMI with high impact news then. And we have a RCP, this will be a 740 Swiss franc here. We do trade Swiss franc. Chairman, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, speaks here. And then 830 Canadian core retail says this will be high impact news as well. 945 just before silver bullish will be have what? Flash P service PMI here. So this will be a busy week, especially with the G20 minutes that will be going on for the whole week here. Not whole week, about 2 or 3 days or so. Yes. That will be high impact news, and then Friday will be the busiest day. So let's look at technical analysis here based on the ICT concepts. I'm going to start on a weekly chart, go down to daily, and maybe end up on a 4-hour chart, right? On each and every chart, we start on a weekly chart, daily chart, and 4-hour chart, right? So what we see here on GXY daily chart, where this high here is still our draw. Previous weeks, we had this high as a right-off page. We nailed it to the price push above it, so which means now the next level that we're aiming for is going to be this 107.3 level. So which means on a weekly chart we are bullish and expecting high prices to those levels. And again, we push above this size. One more thing that I'm anticipating, because these candles right here, right? These are upclose candles supposed to be what? This is supposed to be order blocks, right? Okay, we check into it here, which means it's possible that price will turn in this levels areas. Use this previous order block right here and then push it upside over there. That's still possible. However, I'm simply looking at a simple continuation for this week on a weekly chart. Why am I looking at the continuation? Because the previous week here was simply bullish and it actually closed above the previous week's high, indicating that this week we're simply anticipating what a continuation. Let's look at the daily chart here. Daily chart is looking perfect here. On a daily chart, we look at this thing here. This was Friday, right? With Thursday, Friday. We look at Friday here. It pushed into this fair value gap in the species below. One thing I love is that it pushed below. There's a slow here, but didn't close below it. It pushed below, but didn't close below it. And reject of this level, indicating what we should be expecting what a move to the upside in this case. So which means on Monday, guys, I'm simply bullish on Monday, expecting price to push high at least to last week's high right here. And then eventually to this level 107.34. It's my draw on liquidity looking at DXY, aka the dollar index. Let's look at the 4-hour chart here. This is beautiful. Okay, I think there's something interesting on lower chart, friends. Look at this down into that daily favorite gap. Sell side liquidity being taken out here. Let's go to our chart, you guys. I said something interesting. Yes, okay, it is here. So we've been checking out here. Then we now push to the upside in this case, which means now we have a new dealing range here, which will be from this low up to that high. Price push down into discount. What do we have a discount in this case? Down close candle. We have order block here, right? Boom, check into it. We push it upside, which means now what we see here, which means now we see this fair value gap down close. In this case, we also have this here, which means the favorite gap, balanced by favorite gap. But now let's focus on favorite gap here. So from here on, we can anticipate higher price. One more thing that I love so much what's happening here. Look at this here. Look at this high. Look at this high. What does this signal to? In the second high, it's just above it. The second one, following one, so the third one just above it. Fourth one, just above it, and the fifth one is just above the previous one, indicating above this high is it's actually a low resistance liquidity run. So this will be the easiest week. I believe this is for JXY bullish move here, looking for bullish move up until this high and eventually to this level over there. So that's gonna be my dollar index, guys. This week I am bullish, looking at this highs. Let's take a look at euro for the weekly chart, just like every other pair that we set today. The previous weeks, our drawn liquidity was this volume balance here, and we nailed it, right? Price pushed down to volume balance, and last week, huge move to a downside, checking out this low and this low here, which means the next level sell liquidity, it has to be this low here, which is gonna be 1.0447. Our draw on liquidity right here. So on a weekly chart, so how can I approach this thing? It's so simple. This one is so simple, guys. We're simply expecting what a continuation again. Things to use for daily bias. If you're not sure how to determine your weekly bias, daily bias, or 4-hour bias, go back to the free channel, guys. There's some, I think the last 2 or 3 videos, watch them. We simply explain this thing, and it's exactly how we've been nailing the daily bias the past few days or weeks or months or so. So yeah, on the daily chart, weekly chart, again, how do we do it? We look at this week's candle here, push below the previous week's low and close below it, indicating today, this week, expecting what a continuation lower. And the fact that we've taken up this low is and it's so close to this draw on liquidity, indicating that, okay, we are actually heading lower on a weekly chart. Let's look at daily chart. On the daily chart, okay, this is slightly like GXY or the dollar index. Look at this. We had this volume balance, push below it, tag into it here, then took on the downside. And again, Friday here, this was a key. Previous key, push to this daily 5 value gap here, and then lower rejection of that level, indicating we've taken out. There's a there's a high has been taken out, but failed to close above it. It's simply reject of this level, indicating that, okay, next week we're simply looking for a lower price, at least tomorrow, looking for lower prices, and eventually to last week's low or to this low right here, 1.0447. That's gonna be USD. Let's take a look at pound. Or maybe you wanna take a look at the 4-hour chart as well. On the 4-hour chart, just like on GXY, we have this previous week's high, previous Thursday's high has been taken out here. Very nice buy side liquidity here, right? Buy side liquidity has been taken out into a 5 value gap. This will be, we're gonna mark this as this 5 value gap here, into a 4-hour fair value gap. Check into a 4-hour fair value gap, right? Check into it now, simply looking for lower prices, and then this would be anticipating price to push lower to these levels down here. So this all euro is the simplest thing that I've seen. We're simply expecting pushing to the downside. In this case, we have this low, and this way. So this gonna be low, this liquidity run here. Expecting maybe some sort of energetic move lower, and then how we get a trade will depend on how the markets opens tomorrow. Let's get pound here. And I do apologize, guys, if I'm too fast, guys. I simply want to speak to weekly chart, daily chart, and 4-hour chart. And I don't really care about what's on the left because we've been talking about it over and over again. Go back, watch maybe the past 6 Forex market previews that we've been posting. It's the same thing at the back, right? Let's look at pound here. We've checked out this high here. Unlike euro, we didn't check out this high here. This is why I have this SMT here. Look at this. We have SMT here. And this is actually the same as Aussie and Kiwi. I'm going to show you when we're going to get to Aussie and Kiwi, right? SMT here. On GU here, which we've checked out this high. By sell liquidity, high low, down to a downside. Displacement higher, lower here, sorry. And we broke below this low. Break below this low, indicating what a market straw shift on a weekly chart, right? Then we didn't get back into this break or an order back as well. The price simply went straight to a downside. And we have this candle, which I don't really understand. Then we push lower here to the downside, expecting a continuation to the downside. And on euro, on pound, my draw liquidity is going to be 1.2037, which means this is a long-term draw on liquidity. I am bearish on GBPUSD, guys. Until we reach this level here, I will remain bearish until look at this. One thing that I love here about GU is that we had this low taken out last week. We have this equal lows there taken out as well. What's next? We have, which means if you want, for the next few weeks, you can focus on this 1.2299. It's safe to say 1.23, okay? Because 1.2299. So 1.23, even number, there will be, let me just say 1.23 big figure, that will be a very good draw on liquidity. Again, we also have this low here. So what am I saying about the fair value gap that I see here? Because we also had this fair value gap here on a weekly chart, right? Fair value gap. We traded through it in this case. Let's understand. We traded through it here. So which means this week we possibly check into this fair value gap, use it as an inversion fair value gap. That before we continue lower. So which means yes, we are bearish on a weekly chart. Go down to daily chart here. On a daily chart, we remain bearish. We'll take a look at the daily chart, which means with Friday was simply, remember when euro or maybe dollar was kind of weak. I mean, sorry, all Arab, Europe, Aussie and Key was simply pushing high. Pound wasn't doing any of that. We simply pushed it downside. It opened low higher and closed lower, indicating a downside. And also it closed below Thursday's low, indicating that this week on Monday we should be anticipating a simple continuation to the downside. Now I'm telling you my daily bias on GBPUSD. Monday I am bearish, anticipating lower price from here on. Let's look at it for our chart here. Again, for our chart, just unlike here, which means we have SMT. This will be Thursday's high. This Friday, which means we have SMT here because the euro actually we did check out this side, but here on GBP/USD we didn't do that, indicating GBP/USD is actually the low. I mean the weakest one compared to the two. So what can you do now? Which means in this case we simply expect it to continue to our right. So which means if you can open, get maybe some sort of manipulation, that will be a good chance to set up for us to go short. I'm still expecting a move like this. Open, get manipulate higher there, then we'll be rejecting off that level. So can it push? The question is, can it push the manipulation? Can it push higher to this order block here for our order block? I don't know about that, but we will see if we do push into this for our order block, then we'll be going short, anticipating lower price at least to 1.23 and 1.2. Did I say 1.23? Oh yes, eventually lower to 1.23. But so far, we have to check the day at a time because most of us here, I believe we all know, we are simple day traders. So this will be GBPUSD, weekly chart, bearish, weekly bias, bearish, daily bias, bearish as well. Let's take a look at Aussie. I love this pair, guys. This pair here, I love it so much. We have Aussie. We've been talking about this one there for over. I don't even know how many times now. Weekly chart. We have this high, low, higher high. Checking out buy side liquidity here. Then huge displacement to downside over. Look at this. I love this thing here. Let's talk about this thing first here. We have this up close candle, right? Push below it, close below it, indicating this is a change of delivery. This week here, checked into it, and it was huge. Was a free fall from there on, which means we broke below this low here, indicating a weekly market size shift was just below this level here. After market size shift, leaving behind the fair value gap, order block, series of up-close candles, and we also have a breaker here. We checked into the fair value gap. The body tells the story, and the wick do the damage, right? The wick push above this fair value gap here to this order block, and as well as the breaker, which means 3P that I check, and then it matched to the downside. So which means this week, what are we out bias? Simply bearish. The fact that we closed below the previous week's low, actually we pushed below it and actually closed below it, indicating that okay, we are bearish. We should be expecting a continuation to the downside. Where to? It's gonna be last week's low first. And in this case, we also have this low. But however, we have to be careful with this week. I think I talked about this week over in so many charts, right? I'm going to divide this into quadrants. So which means this week here, I will pay attention at least to the constant encroachment of this week, guys. Constant encroachment is 50% of fair value gap and as well as 50% of any week, okay? So which means the 50% of this week here, in this case, is going to be 1.0628. That will be my draw on liquidity, especially for today or for tomorrow. That will be my draw. I won't be aiming for much, okay, when it comes to Aussie. However, all in all, I remain bearish on Aussie. So that's going to be AUD USD here. We are bearish at least to this level, but eventually down below this level, it's going to be 0.6270. Let's go. Oh, sorry. I didn't go down to daily. Let's look at daily chart. Let's remove this thing here. It's so nasty here. We know the levels, right? Let's remove this. Okay, very nice price action here. In this case, we pushed out this high. We have a low here, a high over there again, displacing lower. This is so busy. I think there's a very good price action here on a 4-hour chart. The way I see it here, we have a nice and clean price action on a 4-hour chart. Yes, there it is. Down to low, high, low, boom, up to a high, then displaced upside, which means in this case, again, don't forget, this also happened to that weekly fair value gap, right? Which means here we also have this here price pushed above this high as buy side liquidity has been taken out. Now we're simply merging the downside here, and we have this fair value gap. We push lower back into here, into this order block on a 4-hour chart. Okay, look at now. I don't want to do this, guys. I don't want to do this. Let's copy. So what our expectations for this week here? Here's something. Here's a permanent look like here. Tomorrow on Monday, when it comes to AUD guys, I don't have a specific bias. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. Weekly chart, I am bearish for the whole week. I am bearish on Aussie, but for tomorrow, I don't have a specific bias. The reason why is that whenever I see maybe an inside day like this here, like Friday, right, it happened to be an inside day on AUD. So this means to me, I will not be trading the next day. And in this case, the next day, it happens to be on a Monday. So which means on a Monday, I will approach the day with no bias. However, from Tuesday, maybe Tuesday, I'd like to form the high of the week. I don't know. However, the whole week, I will be bearish, but just not tomorrow. Tomorrow, I don't know. I will simply be tape reading in this pair, AUD USD. Let's go to Kiwi and the USD. We look at Q here, and also remember, I was looking at this size. I also didn't check out this. Actually, I also have checked out. I'm making a mistake here. Oh yes, I'm good. Yes, I'm good. I'm on the right side here. Also, actually, have checked out this highs and this high as well. On Q, we didn't do that. However, we simply push to our check out this high here by liquidity there, and we have SMT indicating Q is the weakest one. So where's our drawn liquidity here on Q and the GUSD? This one has been taken out here, which means we have this key level 0.5774 as our draw on liquidity on NZDUSD. I am bearish. Look at last week, was heavily bearish and closed below the previous week's low, indicating yes, it continues to move lower, right? So which means that's going to be the case. So let's go down to daily chart here. On a daily chart, on Friday was an inside day. This puts me in a position where I don't want to have a specific bias for Monday. If guys, whenever I have an inside bar like this one, right, I normally do not have a bias for the specific the next day, because my idea of trading, markets needs liquidity first before it can go to its into the direction. In this case, we have buy side and sell side liquidity resting on both levels. So close to price. So I sit on my hands, I tape read, and I study price action on here. I'm gonna stop right here on the chart on NZDUSD. Let's go to USD CAD. This one has been really bullish, crazy. Look at this bullish weeks here. And this week as well, I'm simply anticipating what a continuation high. So the question is, where to the upside? Weekly chart, we don't look at this on weekly chart yet. We only have this high. The next high was from when, okay, this clean high here was simply, I'm gonna drop this one here. This high was simply 20 April 2020, which means it can be our next draw liquidity, which means USD CAD, I am heavily bullish, anticipating higher prices to 1.4265, right? So let's look at daily chart. Look at the whole of last week was simply bullish moves here. So which means in this case, I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of retracement here. So if you get a retracement, maybe at least to intra-range liquidity, we can still aim for high prices again. However, in this case, looking at the price action here, the way I see it, we have Friday closing above Thursday's high here, so which means indicating that on Monday, I'm simply expecting what a continuation higher. I simply want to see price opening, push lower as accumulate, manipulate. Then I want to get in on what on the distribution phase for the day. Looking at 4-hour chart here, there's no need to go down. This is very nice. This clean price action here on a 4-hour chart. Look at this, heavily bullish, right? I came down into internal range liquidity here, okay, a 5-value gap. Checking favorite gap. Again, the body tells a story and the wick do the damage, right? Which means we look at this. Even the coastal encroachment price didn't close below it, indicating that USD CAD has been so strong and expecting a continuation higher. So which means what I can look for this week here is that I can wait and see if price action tags this favorite gap as well as this bullish order block, because we have this two down as well as this order block here, right? I want to see price taking these two levels. Just like this, let me put it. I want to see price doing this before it continues higher. That's all I'm expecting here on USD CAD. I am bullish, heavily bullish in this thing. Even if I can get a sell setup, I won't be interested in taking it. More bullish moves. So let's look at Swiss franc here. I don't know why, but I believe I removed Swiss franc from my watch list. I don't know how I added this thing back in here. Again, bias, since we are bullish, DXY, USD CAD, Swiss franc, we are bullish as well. Where's our drawn liquidity here? We have this clean high here. I want to go out. I normally ignore talking about Swiss franc, but then since we are here, let's talk about it. We have this clean high here as our buy side liquidity, right? And price action, look at nice price action. Look at this thing here. We have taken out sell side liquidity here. in this case, these two losses were taken out on a weekly chart. Check into this weekly fair value gap again, that it took off huge move to the upside, right? After that, we approach above the previous week's high, indicating, okay, on this week, yes, we are bullish. We simply anticipating what this week we are anticipating a continuation to the upside, or at least throw to last week's high. So which means we are pushing to strength here. Let's go down to daily chart. On a daily chart here, we have inside day here. I don't like this. I don't like inside days, guys. I don't like having a bias when I have inside day. It kind of puts me on an outside positions, and because I know that way it puts me, so I ignore it. However, I'll keep an eye on this fair value gap here, on this daily fair value gap. So if you're going to continue higher, I would love to see maybe Monday pushing down to this fair value gap, then it pushes higher Monday, and maybe Tuesday forms the low of the week before it checks off to the upside. So it's a possible scenario here. Looking at a daily chart for Ojad. Okay. Let's skip this here. So yeah, I'm going to stop right here on a daily chart looking at Swiss franc. The next one, let's talk about gold. I know you guys trade gold a lot. Let's look at the weekly chart here. Okay, looking at gold weekly chart, I am bearish. Oh yes, I said it right. Let me repeat. Weekly chart on gold, I am bearish. The past 2 weeks were bearish, and last week was simply heavily bearish. It pushed above the previous week's low and actually closed below it. That was step number 1, right? Number 2 is that we push above this high, low, high, displays to the downside, breaking below this low, indicating in this share, it seems like it is in a market structure shift, a weekly market structure shift. So I am bearish on gold. So if I'm bearish on gold, where to? Right, I'm expecting lower prices to this low here, and eventually down to this level. So I am bearish on weekly chart here. So I am expecting lower price on the weekly chart. Let's go down to daily chart. I was about to read something. Daily chart. We are bearish. Just like on Oz and Q, where Friday here happened to be the inside day. In this case, which means now I'm simply expecting price to push back up into this fair value gap here, right? I want to see price push back this fair value gap. If we check this fair value gap, then I'll be seeking lower prices from here. I don't want to expect anything much here on gold. So guys, yeah, gold, we are bearish, expecting lower prices. However, on a Monday, simply because we have this inside day here, I will have no bias for Monday. I do have a bias for the week. I'm bearish, but on a daily chart, I have no bias. So we will wait and see what price action do on a Monday. So guys, yeah, this has been the Forex market preview and the 7th edition. So guys, yeah, if you do have any other question, you can always text me directly. I'll be more than willing to respond to your text. And yes, I think I'm gonna upload this on YouTube as well. So guys, I'm gonna see you on the next one. For now, cheers, I am out.